You know what it is. That's right. It's time to talk money with your money nerd and financial coach. Now, tighten those purse strings and open those ears. It's the Money Talk with Tiff podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast. So today I'm very excited to have Brady and Chris on the line. So they are the co-creators of the Debt Payoff Planner app, which has helped over 1 million people create a plan to become debt-free and then stick to it, including myself. Debt Payoff Planner has had several appearances on Good Morning America and was the 2021 Best Debt Management App Award winner from the Motley Fool. So thank you so much, Brady and Chris, for coming on the show today.
We're so excited to be here. It's so exciting to be with you. We're just thrilled to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I kind of teased this a little bit in the beginning, but I have actually used their app to become debt free myself. So, I met them back in FinCon 2021, and we were all so ecstatic because it was like their first time meeting someone that actually used the app. And then it was my first time meeting someone that made an app that I used. But I shared with them how much I love their app when it comes to planning out your debt and things like that. And actually showed them my data from years ago in the app.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. And so I'm so excited to have them on because I just wanted to go over what sparked your idea to come up with this app that has helped so many people? What sparked all of this?
Yeah. Well, it was great, like you said, to meet you at FinCon. We were just so thrilled to actually meet somebody in person. We have a lot of interaction with users, but to actually meet somebody in person and get to know you better was just a thrill. In terms of what led to the spark here, the idea, I think we each have our own personal affinity to doing what we've been working on. But kind of the original idea sparked from a conversation that I had with my brother-in-law several years ago at a Thanksgiving dinner. He works in the space of debt restructuring and things like that, and helping people who are struggling with debt to get some relief from that. And it was kind of through those conversations that I learned more about what financial services are actually available to people who are struggling with debt, and hearing some of the stories about people who use those services and not necessarily coming out the other end fully successful. And that's really what led to kind of thinking about what the problem was, and really realizing that all these financial services may be there's a right one for everybody. It's a spectrum, and everybody's a little bit different. And it's not necessarily the best place to start, even if it's a part of the solution. There was a better place to start, and that the beginning needed to really be more about just get a handle on what you have, what the challenges you're facing, how to approach it, and what are the different options of how to proceed with that. And so that was really the spark for there must be a better way to help folks and tackle that. And so personally for me, it was a great problem to go pursue because I love solving really complex problems and making it really easy to do. And I love the idea of helping people get out of debt because it's such a personal hurdle and challenge for folks, and freeing themselves from that is just such a rewarding thing to be helping people work with. That's kind of my why for doing it, and I know Chris has his own.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris, and I'm just going to say I am forever grateful for both of you all for even embarking on this journey to create this app, because it's been life-changing for me. So Chris, what sparked you? What made you decide that this was a good route to go?
So for me, like Brady said, it's really an exciting place to be in. You use the word debt, it doesn't sound very positive, but when you use the word debt free, then all of a sudden, yeah, it gets really exciting. Early on in my marriage, we went in and out of debt a number of times, and it was a frustrating endeavor, because we started, it was always one thing, okay, we don't have any debt. And I go, oh, we need new tires. And it went on the credit card. And we're still paying on the credit card for other stuff. So then other things went on. And then after a while, it's like, okay, we get a tax refund or something to pay it all off. Like, yes, we're debt free, high five. And then, all of a sudden the dog gets sick. And then so we're back in debt and we're like, well, I mean, we're already paying on the credit card. We might as well go to Outback Steakhouse. And every single time it happened, it was like it got up to a higher number, and then we managed to keep bringing it back down. We're like, if we don't turn this around, it's going to really get out of hand here pretty soon. And so, we took a class with a bunch of people and learned how to, kind of address our situation and the reality of it. And it was just so life-changing for us. And the advice was, things that are pretty simple. You cover a lot of it on your podcast and stuff about, financial literacy, right? It's just things that we didn't learn in school. And so, that's kind of my backstory for why I'm passionate about the space. As far as, the app being the way to address it, it's just really, really exciting to be able to help so many people at once. In my last job, it was a lot of fun. I loved the people I worked with. I loved our customers, but it was enterprise. There were a handful of really great people. And now, we get to help thousands of people at a time. And so, if we implement a feature and do it right, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people can benefit. And that's just it's just so exciting to come at it from that angle and imagine, okay, there's potentially thousands of people that can be helped. I mean, everybody has their own journey. They're doing it themselves, but like we get to be this one little sliver, one little piece that helps them on their way. And that's just, it's really fun to think about. And so there's a lot of energy, in doing this. It really helps us keep going. And we've had a lot of success in, getting more and more people involved in the app, using the app too, and giving us feedback and helping us help them on their journey. So for me, I think that's what it's about. It's just the scale that the technology that we have now, the scale of people that we can reach to help is just awesome and unprecedented.
Yes. And it's so phenomenal. And it's great hearing, the other side of the story, like what sparked you all into getting into this. Now, we talk a lot about this app, but what does this app really do? I know I can go on and on about the benefits, but I want you all to just explain to the audience, like, what does this app do? Why do they need it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really starts with just kind of understanding the basic challenges that the situation that somebody finds themselves in when they actually find our app. We've talked to so many people that have used the app and asked them that question is where were you when you found the app? And for so many people, it was this situation where they were, they had debt, they were making payments. Sometimes it was making minimum payments. Sometimes it was trying to pay a little extra, and not having a sense of when it was going to stop, right? They they were paying, and they would sacrifice so much of what they were doing. I'm not going to buy the coffee. I'm not going to splurge on anything. I'm going to put it all toward my debt. And you have no idea of what kind of progress you're making, and you have no idea when you're going to be done. And you can imagine setting out on a journey without a map, without knowing where your destination is, when you'll arrive. How long are you going to keep walking? And that's exactly what people are kind of faced with when they find us. They're so frustrated and disheartened by that feeling of not knowing when they're going to be done, not knowing how far they are on their journey. And that's the number one thing that we help people with first, which is when they can plug their information, all of their debt into the app, and it comes back and tells them exactly what to pay on how much to pay on each account, when to pay it, and when all of those payments will result in them being out of debt. And simply knowing that gives them a destination. They see the light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a huge amount of relief. And so that's the very first thing. And we try to make that very, very easy to do, right? You plug your debts in, you don't have to understand how all the math behind it works, and you get your plan. And so that's the very first thing we help people with. But then they're confronted with the second problem, which is, now I know what I'm supposed to do. I got to have the motivation to do it. And the second thing that we've learned from people after working in this for a while now is that it's so motivating to see the progress you're making, that the number one thing you can do to stay motivated is to see that you're making a difference. And so that's really the second thing the app does, is try to make it easy to, track what you're doing and present back to you all the progress, the wonderful things that you're accomplishing. And so it's these micro celebrations. Every time you make a payment, you get to see that little progress indicator move. And that's really what we aspire to do, and what the app is helping people do today that we're excited to continue to evolve.
Yes, absolutely. And Chris?
Yeah, so we've surveyed a lot of users, and it's interesting because the same phrases tend to come up over and over. Like, everybody's story is 100% unique, but the emotions that they feel are actually like pretty specific. And, the most common thing people say is they felt out of control. And it's like, that's such a specific thing, because like they have everything documented, they're not out of control. Like, the world is like in a fixed space, but they feel out of control because, like Brady said, like they have no plan. And so all of a sudden, you punch in the numbers, an hour later, maybe 15 minutes, depends on your situation, you have a plan. It's just sitting there, like right in front of you. Like, you know exactly when you'll be debt free if you do this. And then, if you apply a little more money, you know how much faster you'll be debt free. And so like people, they say, I felt out of control. And then the other word they use is relief. Like that specific word, like from this state of out of control to relief. And it's so fascinating to think that, this huge emotional journey that can happen with something as simple as an app and just the awareness of what to do there. And then it's fun because the second you feel relieved, you're like, you go from relief to impatience. And impatience is like, I got to pay this down faster. When my wife and I got on our journey, it's like, okay, yeah, this is when we're going to be debt free. It's like, no, we're going to speed this up. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, we don't need all of these fancy things. Like, one of the things that we did, right away that I thought was interesting was we called up the cable company and said, hey, I'm paying too much for cable. Can you reduce my bill? And they're like, yeah, okay. And so they dropped it like $30 a month, which, it's not a huge amount of money, right? But $30 a month on a cable bill is $360 a year. But if you're paying 30% interest on a credit card with that $360, all of a sudden that's actually $500 worth of payoff, right? And so you've gone from this completely out of control to this feeling of relief to this feeling of impatience to be debt free. And it's really fun to be part of that journey.
Yes, I can just say, like, this sounds so much like my experience when I first found you all's app. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015, somewhere up in there. I had just got denied for a $200 credit card. And I'm like, what the heck? And I had a ton of student loan debt. I had medical bills, all types of stuff on there. And I had a car payment. And so I'm looking at after I put in all my data, I'm looking at this huge number and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I did not realize how big of an issue this was. But then to see it in one place and then have it where it said, you will be debt free by, and then like you said, Chris, I was like, oh, no. Like this has to happen a little faster than that. I'm like, that's too long. And then honestly, y'all, it was their app that told me that I had paid off over $50,000 in debt. Like, because when you're in the middle of doing it, you don't realize how far you go. Like, you don't realize how far you've come. And so I, was in the middle of it, playing games with myself. Like Chris said, just how much can I pay off? How fast can I do this? And then that's one thing that I love about their app, because if you know me, I'm a fintech nerd, so I try everything. But one thing that I love about their app is that it keeps your data, like it keeps your big number. And a lot of other apps don't do that. So I was able to see, oh, this is my new number, but this was my old number too. And so that's how I came up with the whole over $50,000 in debt that I talked to you all about. It was because of their app. I was able to see that and actually notice that I had made a difference, because you don't notice this stuff when you're going through it. You're just playing games with yourself and you're just trying to get stuff done as quickly as possible. But like Brady was saying, having something there that tells you, okay, this is how much you have. This is when you can approximately be debt free. And then also celebrating those small wins too, because it also tells you what to pay. It tells you what to pay off when. So that was very helpful. And honestly, y'all, it's the same thing that these financial planning softwares do, because now I'm in that field, but it's the same exact thing. And to have that in the palm of your hand and for free. Let me mention that too. And for free, it's life-changing, I can guarantee you. So with that being said, so we've heard some of my story. I know you all have plenty of stories to share, but is there one particular story that you heard of that stood out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And hearing your story and actually getting to experience you telling us your story in person, that was obviously one of our highlights, and just getting to know you, and we're big cheerleaders and fans of yours. And so, that's clearly one of our stories that resonates and stays with us, and keeps us going every day. But there's another one that was really inspiring for us, and let us understand really the importance of some of this in a way that we hadn't really understood in its entirety before. And so it was during the course of one of the times we were surveying our users and asking for input, and this lady shared her story with us, that it's very typical, starts in a very typical way. She was in debt about $45,000 and had no idea of how to start paying that back. And again, when she found us, she had tried a lot of things like paying more, sacrificing more, and just felt like she wasn't making any progress, and she believed that she was going to die in debt. Obviously, this makes you very sad, very depressed. She was always tired, didn't want to deal with people, hated her job because she thought it would never pay her enough to get out of debt. Not because the job was so bad, but she just didn't think she would ever be able to get out of debt. So she tried all this stuff about sacrificing more and lost motivation, just didn't work. Ultimately found the app. She put her data in, got her plan. And for her, she said, knowing the end date changed everything. All of a sudden, she went from thinking she was going to die in debt to knowing that there was actually a date where if she just paid the things that she was supposed to pay, that she would be out of debt. And, she really realized that it was working for her when in just 6 months, she had paid off nearly half of her debt. So she went from thinking she was going to die in debt to actually paying down half of it in just 6 months. And that's such a common thing that we see. And so at the time that she provided her story to us and shared that with us, she was still about $20,000 in debt. And she still had some ways to go, but she still had debt, but she was in a very different frame of mind. She was happy. She was happy with her job. And I think the most remarkable thing was that there was a medical issue. She had a problem with her foot that required surgery that she had put off for 3 years. So for 3 years, she had been living with physical pain because she believed she couldn't afford to go get the surgery, to spend the money, because she was supposed to be putting it toward her debt. And once she got a handle on, what do I need to pay? How much do I need to pay? What do I have left over? She actually realized that she could still have debt and go take care of the things that she needed to take care of. So still with $20,000 in debt, she went and actually had the surgery. And for us, that was just so remarkable that she got out of physical pain as a result of understanding that she was in a better financial situation than she had thought. And so that transformation was not only going from thinking you're going to have debt forever to knowing you're going to be out of debt, but also that you get to enjoy life a bit more while you're going through the process. And that was just so impactful for us to realize that was part of people's journey here, was really a special moment for us.
Yes. And I'm so glad you brought that story up because it brings up so many good points. One of those points being a lot of people, well, first of all, it just feels like you're drowning. Like when you're in the midst of all of this, it just feels like there's no way possible you can come up for air. I've talked to so many people where they're like, well, I'll have student loans forever. I'm gonna die with them, that type of thing. But also the point that people don't fulfill their life just thinking that they have to be stuck under this debt all the time. So like in her story, she's like, well, I can't get this surgery that I really, really need because of all of this mountain of debt that, is kind of burying me. I can't get from under it. And so I can't get this surgery. I just talked to a couple last night and they thought that they couldn't travel. But once you get a plan in place and you see how easy it could possibly be. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be all the way easy, but just having a plan, it allows you to see that, oh, there is a way. Oh, it is possible. And this is how I can get it done. It puts things in such a different perspective. And you realize that you can have this and this versus trying to give up something else or sacrifice something else, like she was doing surgery. You don't have to do that once you have a plan in place and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm so glad that you brought that story into this conversation because I'm positive somebody's resonating with that right now. Like, y'all go ahead and get the app and go ahead and get your surgery because you need it, But with that being said, how can people find the app? Where is it on App Store? Is it on Google Play? Where is this app and how do people download it?
So we've picked this just genius name of that's Debt Payoff Planner. So it's very generic, but nevertheless, you can search for it on the app stores, both the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. Just search for Debt Payoff Planner. It's the first thing that comes up. It's a little icon with a little dove carrying a little wad of cash with a little blue background. And so you'll know when you find it. Or you can visit us on our website at debtpayoffplanner.com and learn more about the app that way. So either way, people should be able to find us.
Awesome. And do you have any social media platforms or anything that people can follow you on?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on, our app itself is on Instagram and Facebook. You can kind of find us the same way there. You can connect with us personally on our personal Twitter. I'm at Brady_Benware, and Chris.
I'm at Schuermeyer.
So you can find us there and connect with us.
Yeah. And if you all did not get that information, don't worry. I'll have it all in the show notes. I know a lot of people like to do different things while they listen to podcasts. So I'll have it all in the show notes. So don't worry. Like I said, y'all, I highly recommend the app. And like Brady said, it's the first thing that pops up. So, if you just type in Debt Payoff, I'm sure they'll pop up. And if you ever need help with navigating the app, let us know. I'll be here to help as well because I love it. And I'm actually about to get back on it because I have a little situation. But it's a wonderful app if you ever need a reset or you're starting off on this journey. Highly recommend. Thank you so much, Brady and Chris, for coming on the show today. I appreciate you all taking the time. It has been my
Tiffany,
pleasure.
Thanks so much. What a great opportunity to talk with you today.
Thank you for listening, joining, and being a part of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast this week. You can check Tiff out every Thursday for a new Money Talk podcast. But if you just can't wait until next week, you can listen to previous podcast episodes at moneytalkwitht.com or follow Tiff on all social media platforms at Money Talk with T. Until next time, spend wise by spending less than you make. A word to the money wise is always sufficient.